Yes, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Rendezvous with the Present Moment, episode 50. So, yay, that
Wow.
celebration here. And I have a very dear friend and a very special guest, and it wouldn't have been a better person than Stefan Dettmer to be here with us and to talk about leadership in times of crisis. We stay in the Netherlands today. Uh, so welcome, Stefan. Welcome.
Thank
It's
you.
very
Thank you.
good to have you here. And actually, we have two traditions here. And one tradition we just started last time is that um, I go all over the world with this podcast. So you live in the Netherlands. Um, tell me something nice about the place you live in. What's special and what is the name of the city you live in?
Yeah, I live in a very small village. It's called Heemskerk. It's about 30 minutes from Amsterdam, but we moved over here 2 years ago. And
Yeah,
we moved here for two reasons. One is that the neighborhood is very nice because we live very close to the forest, to the dunes and the sea. So we can go outside in the forest every day, and I
yeah,
do it at least five times a week. But the second reason is that we were looking for houses all around the place, and we found our dream place, our dream house, our dream street. I have to mention. But unfortunately, there wasn't a house to buy. And then I became resourceful and was thinking, what can we do? We connected with people in the streets. I wrote letters to everybody that if they knew anybody who was going to move or was moving themselves, please call me. And it took for about 4 months, and then we got a call from somebody. They found this letter back, and they were now considering to move. And we bought that house directly from them in a very short time period. And later we found out that there were waiting lists
yeah.
all over the place for this street, but we never came on the waiting list because I had my own creative mind and my own resourcefulness, and because of that, we got there. So actually, we are living in the dream place, in our dream house. We have been rebuilding it completely.
Beautiful.
Actually, we better could have built a
Yeah.
new house that will be cheaper, but yeah, we have really the place we love
So
to live in.
you became resourceful. So it's the best time to introduce you for those that don't know you. So Stefan Dettmer has 25 years of personal and business development. He's a student for life, and that's why he's one of the reasons I love him so much, because we have so many things in common. He followed seminars all over the world, and he put his hand in his pockets deeply. Almost $500,000 euros invested in his personal development. And he used to be in the corporate world till he had enough, and he took all the resources he had in his mind and went private to Succesgids. But during his sixth seminar with Tony Robbins in 2006, he had a breakthrough and got a very clear view of his life path, which is to raise the consciousness of many people, to create a ripple effect, and to change the world. And he did this, and he does this by introducing lots of people to the work of Tony Robbins and other great and inspiring leaders and trainers in the personal development arena. And basically, he's the co-founder of the largest personal development, all-rounded company for learning success and fulfillment principles in the Netherlands, aimed to entrepreneurs and physical persons. So they have organized Succesgids. So they have organized more than 50 events a year. They organize more than 50 events a year in the Netherlands, and they changed the life of thousands of people, more than 10,000 of people. So and one of the things that I really like about Stefan, besides being an extraordinary leader and businessman, he's also on a path of living in a beautiful state. So, and very spiritual and meditation, which brings, marries the success in business with the art of fulfillment, which is very important in life. And Stefan, you passed the test of the first tradition, and let's play with the second tradition, which is, because we create an experience together, and this is a sacred place, and we take about less than a minute just to center ourselves. So if you want to close your eyes and just find a comfortable yet strong position, whatever it is for you and for everybody who watches us, because this is the moment to meet our present moment. And then as we connect to our breath in gratitude, we just follow the breath for a few delicious in breaths and out breaths. And I invite you a mantra to say it in your head. On the in breath, I give, and on the out breath, what I want to receive. So you have a longer out breath. So let's breathe out and breathe in. I receive what I want to give. And the other way around. Breathe in, I give. Breathe out what I want to receive. So, you can open your eyes. So let's rock and roll. Nice.
Yeah,
so it's good. We talk about the nice things about your city, and we centered here. So let's talk about leadership in times of in difficult times, challenging times. Now, you have a company that helps people elevate their lives, and your main revenue stream was from live events, also Tony Robbins, but other wonderful teachers. And suddenly, with Corona and everything, boom, you were hit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we talk about leadership. So my first question is, what were your first thoughts about this? And afterwards, how did you tap into your resourcefulness as a leader in those moments?
Yeah. When it all started, my first idea is it's just another virus like we have every year, and then it became much more and more clear that it wasn't taken at least as a normal virus, and more and more things in the countries around us were showing that it was going into the direction of a lockdown. And before we went in a lockdown, it was announced here in the Netherlands on a Sunday night, and actually that whole weekend I spent a lot of thinking time. You're familiar with Keith Cunningham as well.
Yes, of course.
Keith Cunningham is my business mentor, and I'm part of his board of directors program. And he always says, take time out to think, because when you're staying in a hurry, you
Yeah.
cannot come to a good solution. So I took this seriously at that moment, and I spent the whole weekend thinking about the solution. Yeah, I also made sure that my brain was open. So I was listening to inspiring videos on YouTube, but I also on the Sunday watched a video on TV together with my wife. And actually, not just a video, but a video I chose by purpose, a video of Tony Robbins about leadership in crisis.
Okay.
Tony did a live event in Hawaii during 9/11.
Yeah.
And because of the time difference between New York and Hawaii, it was in the middle of the night that the planes crashed into the buildings. And he had to cope with this whole crisis in the seminar
True.
on the morning of 9/11. And people lost family members or their partner. And it was really, like we all know, a real crisis. And
Yes.
I decided to watch that video in order to get my lessons and insights about what to do. And that together with thinking time made it a Sunday afternoon. I had a plan in place actually to make sure that we could keep on supporting people in our network, in our database, our relations with our clients, but also a plan in which we could earn the money we needed to cover our fixed expenses. And on Sunday afternoon, I had a plan. Sunday night, the lockdown was announced. On Monday morning, I informed the team, and then we got started. And within a week, we had an excellent plan live, and we're executing on it.
Yeah. So first of all, you took care of yourself. You took control.
Yes.
What's gonna, because our mind can be hijacked, right? Fear
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
kick in, huh? But you
Yeah,
took care of what you fed your mind with, right? So you look, in your case, you look at your mentor, one of your mentors, Tony Robbins. You use exactly the resources you needed in order to start access the resources in your mind, and start thinking, what do I need to focus on, right? For my business to survive right now, right?
yeah. In the first situation, it was all about surviving. And we made a plan to create a project, and the project was called Project SOS. And with that name SOS, we really created traction. And SOS stands for Succesgids Online Summit, and Succesgids is the Dutch name for Success Guide. We are the guide towards success. Succesgids Online Summit, and the original idea was to do 14 days with an online workshop day after day. And you have to imagine that usually we do 50 events a year, so on average one a week. And for the marketing, for the website, and a live event and an online event is exactly the same work. So
Yeah.
we prep in 14 days what we usually do in 14 weeks. So we had really the pressure on the team, and the end of the 14 days was that the people in the team were excited because we got so many positive responses from the participants. We got over 1,000 testimonials from participants, and on the side we made enough money not only to cover the fixed expenses of that month, but for a couple of months. So we created a buffer to continue, and then we decided also to continue with the project. And instead of 14 days, we are now past the 75th day. Till last week, every day another workshop. And now we are changing the model. We have to reinvent again, because yeah, people get more back into business as usual. Nothing is as usual, of course, but they get more into work, and
Yeah.
so we're changing the model again to reinvent and adjust.
So before we move into this, first of all, let me salute Lisa, Krop Ella, and Johan, who are fans of yours, and they're very happy you're here on the show.
Right.
So knowing you and your partner, I because you are you have such a big heart and you love your team at
Mhm.
Successes, but you love your clients. So
Yeah.
that project SOS was born. Actually, if you go deep, why was this project born?
Yeah, if you go really deep, actually, then you come back to the reason why I started with Succesgids in the first place. When I go back in time, it's February 2006. I'm sitting in the event Unleash the Power Within of Tony Robbins. Not my first time, not my second time, but actually my sixth time. And why six times to the same event? Because the first time was really life changing. I decided to go the year after again and bring some friends. I did that the year after, and every time I went to the next level, and I saw what happened to my friends. So the impact I saw there was great. And then in February 2006, I was at Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. I sat in his what they call his spitting zone because I was sitting in row three or
Freezing.
four. Uh, yeah, I
Yeah.
needed an umbrella. But what I always tell that if you're up front, you get more in the energy, and uh, I guess that happened. And yeah, you have been to a lot of Tony Robbins events as well, so you know the Dickens process. And afterwards, he uses the bubble with a timeline, and
Yes.
he went back to the past, and I got very clear uh, yeah, pictures about when I even was a baby, and it went on year by year by year by year till that moment. And then the amazing thing happened that it went on to my future. And what I saw is my life path, and that sounds maybe yeah too much, but I realized what I have to do here, and that's I'm not the best trainer speaker, but there are amazing trainer speaker. You're one of them, uh,
Thank you.
but there are a lot of very good speakers, and I saw that my reason to be here is to bring a lot of people in connection with speakers like that, Tony Robbins, Joseph McClendon. We work with all those kind of people together. Uh, and what I saw is if we yeah, put people in front of them, and people will be transformed. They will rise in consciousness. That they will create a ripple effect to their own environment. Even if people around you don't want to go with you, as long as you stay in this positive state, in a beautiful state, in a peak state, whatever you call it, or the combination of all those, it affects everyone around you. And uh, when we can create this ripple effect, then yeah, groups are getting a higher consciousness. And when there is a higher consciousness, the problems we are facing in the world, not only now, but all the problems
Yes.
are not that difficult to solve. But the problem is that too many people have a low consciousness,
Level of consciousness. Yeah.
yeah, and don't see it. And
Solutions are limited. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And so the reason to start Project SOS was to support people through this crisis, because yeah, so much negative news,
Yeah.
etc., was coming
Yeah.
around, so much uncertainty by everybody. Um, yeah, people became afraid, came in a freeze fight modus,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, I realize that the speakers we have entrance to can really support people to come
Yeah.
through all these things. So that's the reason we created it.
Yes. Yes. So that, and also taking care of your garden, of your people.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, the first part is like in an airplane. First, take care of yourself. You have to put on the oxygen mask
Mask.
yourself first before you help
Yeah.
your children. Because if you don't help yourself, you cannot help anybody else. So
Right.
it
Yeah.
starts there with your body, your health, your mindset, but also take care of your own finances and all things like that. If you've done that, you can do that for your inner circle,
Right.
your family, friends, etc. And then the third level, in my opinion, is your business leadership, to take care of your team, because my opinion is the team is always number one and the clients are number two. Yes, we created the product for the clients, but we cannot serve anybody without the team being served first.
Right.
So during the project, I also asked the clients to give positive feedback to our team because they were really 7 days a week, 12,
Working very hard.
12 till 15 hours a day working to get everything going.
Yeah.
And when we got all those responses, yeah, it really gave a lot of energy to the team, and that made it possible to continue.
Yeah. Absolutely. So you talk first personal leadership, you take care of yourself, then you talk about next level, your inner circle, you
Yes.
expand to your business, and then to your social, to the clients, and so
Yeah.
wonderful. So how did you get, because before we get into reinvention, um, it's very important that the team stays committed and they are accountable, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
of course they were, we are huggy people, so they were used to the contact, face to face contact, and suddenly they had to work online.
Yeah.
How did you maintain the commitment and accountability?
Yeah, yeah, it's absolutely a big change, and it's not easy. It's not easy for anybody, so it wasn't easy for us as well. But yeah, we were used to have one team meeting a week, and yeah, we went from one team meeting a week to three a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, with the whole team, to stay connected. And the marketing team really had a lot to do because every day another event. So there, 3 times a week was not enough. So we did 7 times a week, every day, including the weekends, including national holidays, meetings, just to get everything going and keep everybody on track. And yeah, actually, the accountability wasn't a really issue because yeah, I had to bring on that Monday when I announced the project actually quite bad news, because the bad news was that we are in a business of live events. With live events, they're all above 100 people. So we were one of the first companies uh, really out of our business as usual. And
Yeah.
as it looks now, we will be one of the last who can return to business as usual.
Yes.
So the only way to survive as a business, and because of that, the only way to keep everybody in their jobs was if we would make a success of this. So maybe we ask the impossible, but if you shoot for the stars, you hit the moon. Had that principle we did. We really shoot for the stars, and maybe we even reach the stars because the success of the project and the success of also financially for us made that there is a base also for the upcoming months. In our business, we cannot go back soon to business as usual, but we do have yeah, enough cash to survive for a much longer time, and we have yeah, a new business formula in which we can create enough revenues to cover the cost. So that we asked everybody to support to survive, and they did.
Wonderful. So you talk now about reinvention of your project and the business model right now.
Yeah.
How did this emerge? So you started with the initial intention and then map, if you like, and now you go into reinvention. So what triggered this, and how did you go about it?
Yeah, first, the start was also a reinvention from live events to this online events on a daily basis. But when we were continuing, what we saw is that there is a saturation with all we offered.
Yes.
People, the first weeks they had nothing to do, so there were really people who we announced for 2 weeks, and we were asking, what are we supposed to do at 4 o'clock at the time we were doing the events? As soon as it stops, what are we supposed to do? But when time continues, 10, 11, 12 weeks, then you reach a point then that people had enough. And
Yes.
then we went into thinking time again, and we had
Yes.
ideas about what to do. But this time we had over 17,000 people who are participating in the project. So instead of hoping that our ideas are the right ones again, we decided to do a survey to see what is really going on with the majority of people. And we got great responses on it. It gave us really the insights what to do, and based on that, we are now in the process of reinvention to adjust the project, the frequency of workshops, the time
Yes.
stamp of the workshops, etc., to what people are asking for. And it's not from one day to the other, because we created a process with line-up at speakers from all over the world, and we cannot just change the times like that. But in the upcoming weeks, we will transfer it completely to another timeline and other frequency.
So how was your leadership style evolved during this period?
Yeah. One of the things I learned from this video of Tony Robbins, I was just talking about leadership in crisis at Hawaii 9/11, is that there are 4 different types of leadership in crisis. And actually, Tony explains the 4, but also explains why you need all 4 of them. And if you really want to learn this, look for the video of Tony Robbins of 9/11 leadership in crisis, because I have no idea that I can explain it in the way he does. But to tell it very briefly, the first style of leadership is to go to the style of a warrior. A warrior, somebody who really fights for what has to do, and that you don't have to. It's not the fight mode, the freeze or fight mode or flight mode. A lot of people are coming in now. It's a mode in which you decide, I'll do whatever it takes. The massive action Tony talks about often, that's in the warrior. So in the warrior state, you make all these calls. In our case, with the trainers all over the world, if they could participate, and we created the meetings with the teams. We created the websites, and that's all in the warrior state. In the warrior state, you do that, but you cannot be successful on the long run only in the warrior state. No. So what you also need is the second style Tony talks about, and that's the style of the magician. The magician is very creative, uses humor, and you need humor as well, because if you're serious all the time, you break, you lose your energy. But especially the creativity we needed that to come to the solution. You need creativity for reinvention. You need creativity to go through all obstacles you're facing. So that's
And
a very,
innovate. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's a very important thing. So warrior, magician, and the third part is actually the lover, and the lover in the way of creating
Yeah.
connection with the people in your
Yeah.
family, creating connection with your team, creating connection with your clients. You need this connection. From the state of connection, you can build. So that's very important. So we did all kind of small things to the team. We sent them a postcard. So we sent them some attention, etc. And yeah, I'm really grateful for what I did. So express what you're grateful for. We all learned that from Tony as well, and also my other teachers in India, etc. They are really into that area. So the connection is a very important thing, and
Yes.
uh, warrior, magician,
Lover.
lover, and the fourth one also very important. The sovereign, the one who is thinking independently. And uh, I talked before about the thinking time. You have to get distance from time to time from the what's going on day by day, and the thinking time really helps. And it created this project, and then we went as warrior from early morning till late night, 7 days a week. Uh, we went crazy like that, but I had to go back to thinking time again. Otherwise, you keep on running, but you will hit the wall in the end. Thinking time again, and I also asked the people in my board of directors, including very great people like Tony Robbins and Keith Cunningham and much other people who I have the privilege to speak with them on a regular basis. Last week, the whole week, we had sessions live by Zoom with them, and it really
It
helps
helps.
to think and to redirect.
So the power of a mastermind where you are with like-minded people that can help you, inspire you to, to raise your game even more, right?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
to,
Especially in this crisis, we are not even close by the end of this crisis. Actually, things are improving at the moment, but uh, they're talking about the second wave, and
we
if it's a
just
second
don't
wave
know.
or not is not even important, but it's sure that the domino stones are
Yeah.
falling, and we are not at the end, not even close.
Yeah. So how do you anticipate? Because anticipation is very important, right? In business. How do you anticipate?
Yeah, I think about it, put your ideas on paper, but share it with other entrepreneurs. So I do it myself, but we also facilitate different groups, mastermind groups with entrepreneurs here in the Netherlands and Belgium. And what we experience by everybody is that because they are talking with each other, they have this peer group, they have this connection, they get the ideas from other people. It really helps them forward. And we see the difference with the people who are really participating in it and how
Yeah.
they come through the crisis, including I have the most wonderful stories from people in our mastermind groups, what they're doing. One of our clients, her business was locked down for 2 months, and she created a plan in which she not only was able to get back into business, but to 10x her business for the upcoming year. She
Yes.
made this business plan, and it's very solid. I did a review for her yesterday. It looks very good, and with our whole group, we are coming
Yeah.
together in a few weeks. Then we will bring her even more to
Yeah.
a solid plan, and then she can execute on it. And
And that's
that's the power of a mastermind.
right. And then also seeing obstacles as opportunities, right? Having
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mindset as well.
We can fight against obstacles, and you absolutely shouldn't close your eyes for what's going on, because the world became crazy, and it's still crazy with all what's going on. But you cannot fight the obstacles you're facing with your business, and you have to look at the obstacles and see it like it is, but don't make it worse than it is.
Yes.
And uh, as you probably noticed, I did a lot of study with Tony Robbins. I think I saw him over 100 days live training, and in the past 20 years. But it's true. See it like it is, but don't make it worse than it is. But
Yes.
you have to face it.
So what's the future for you in this uncertain world?
Yeah, the future is future in which you need a lot of thinking. You cannot close your eyes for anything what's going on, and you have to take responsibility on how you respond. You cannot just rely on your government in which country you're living in. Every government has his own agenda, and they don't exactly know what to do. But we all have to face with upcoming laws, etc. But you have to inform yourself, and it's not just listen to government or the mainstream media. It's good to follow what they mention. It's also good to investigate yourself what's going on, and
Yeah.
and see it and make your plans. Don't wait that you're yeah confronted with what they decide at the moment. You have to participate in your own development, but you also have to anticipate of what you can expect. And one of the things I expect is that they use this weapon of a lockdown, and we all, billions of people all around the world went into it. They used it once. There is no reason that they won't use it again. So if you have a business, what can you do to make your business independent, and that you can continue with your business in case the next lockdown is there? And I'm not the one to predict when it will happen, but prepare yourself for the case that it will happen.
And
Uh,
invest also in contingency planning, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are currently working on plans to have what to execute in which scenario.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's important for everybody. Don't wait till a next crisis, or the next step in this crisis is there, and that you uh, be, yeah, come into a fight or flight modus. But uh,
Yes.
take distance, take thinking time, time for yourself. If you have a team, after your thinking time, share it with your team, get their ideas, make it better, and have the scenarios ready for different situations. Business as usual isn't there. Nobody says it is at the moment, but it won't go back to what it was. That's impossible. The whole universe is something which is growing, and it never goes back. And in this
No.
case, it also don't come back. It will change maybe back into the direction it was, but it will never be as it was.
Of course, because yeah, and we just only need to focus on evolving, right? Because that's important.
Absolutely.
This part. Thank you
Yeah,
so much. And that was our time together, huh? So
right.
we're gonna just it was magical for me. Thank you so much. Every time I'm with you, you're so authentic and fully present and very generous. So we're gonna close with a big deep breath to let go of our experience together. So we go forward to our lives, to our lives. Okay. And I take in my heart and in my mind all the learnings and the beautiful feelings I experience with you, Stefan. Thank you so much for your generosity. And I hope you will be back at some point to chat.
Thank you so much, Catalina. Thank you for the opportunity to be
Thank
here,
you.
and thank you for the great work you do and share
Thank
this
you.
sessions, 50 sessions today. It's amazing. You have a beautiful heart. I know you're a beautiful person, and I'm really happy to be able to say that you're one of my personal friends. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day and wonderful evening and wonderful morning, wherever you are. Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.